And we are live. Welcome to the NBA Strategy Show. It is Thursday, March 20th. I am Josh Engleman, here to break down a 5-game slate. Nothing crazy today, although we do have a big gap in times. 2 games starting at 7, 2 games starting at 10, 1 at 10:30. So we have a 3-hour gap during today's slate. That's rarely fun, but we don't have much of a choice. We just put those 2 7 o'clocks to bed. Then we waited out for Bulls, Kings, Raptors, Warriors, and Bucks, Lakers. Okay. Be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman. That's where you get the contenders. Shout out to Denny Avdia yesterday. Massive game. Shout out to Jalen Williams. 19 points, 17 boards, 11 assists, 2 steals as well. Massive game. But really, shout out to Sandro Mamukelashvili. 34 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, and a steal in 19 minutes and 26 seconds. He had 55 and a quarter fantasy points in 19 minutes and 30 seconds, basically. That's 2.8 fantasy points per minute. That's got to be one of the higher per minute rates for anybody that's played 19 minutes. That's a big number, man. Anybody want to have a Quentin Grimes discussion? Gary Bailey says, I picked everybody on OKC but Jalen Williams. He was my most exposed player yesterday, I think. I think he was the second best play of the day. Let's double check. Check the post-contest sims. In the main yesterday, Tristan Vucevic was the number 1 post-lock option. Then Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, and then Jalen Williams. Guys, here's the big takeaway for Quentin Grimes. The way that he played doesn't make me right or wrong. I was right regardless of how Quentin Grimes played yesterday. That's the ultimate takeaway here. Whether he scored 90 or 10 yesterday, I was right to begin with. The results don't matter. The results don't matter. Well, we got 5 games to talk about. A couple spots are tough to talk about right now, considering we're on, I don't know, half the slate's on a back-to-back. But we're going to do our best to break it all down. So, let's get it started. The New York Knicks are 7.5-point favorites in Charlotte. 221 total. 95.7 pace is 0.2 of a possession slower than Brooklyn, Indiana. These 2 games are both a full possession slower than anything else. Larry, nice. Good deal. So for the Knicks, obviously, matchup-wise, facing Charlotte's great. We don't have an injury report for the Knicks today, so that will be a little different. My expectation is that we don't see Mitchell Robinson today. He played yesterday. Seems to me that he would not be playing. Did not go well, confirmed for the Knicks on yesterday's slate. They got trounced by San Antonio. But I'm not anticipating Mitchell Robinson playing this back-to-back. So, you do expect a couple extra minutes out of somebody like Precious Achiuwa today, but he is not the first guy we're going to be getting to from the Knicks. It seems like the first guy that you get to for the Knicks might just be Cam Payne. Cam Payne is point guard to shooting guard eligible, 3,100. Currently projected for 20% ownership. We got him 30% optimal. Now, obviously, he played a couple extra minutes last night for not ideal reasons for the Knicks. He got an extra minute 46 at the end, but he's kind of like a value play in this spot. Maybe he doesn't play 16 minutes and you kick him down the line a little bit, but Cam Payne's going to get ownership today because of what this slate is, because there's only 5 games, because he's got an MPE, because he's only 3,100, because he's a fantasy point per minute guy. People are going to be paying attention to Cam Payne. He is actually going to get rostered today more than a couple percentage points. And I think that's totally reasonable. Now, I'd rather get to the rest of the Knicks. In particular, you've got Towns at 9,700, 1.4 fantasy points per minute, 16% optimal, 17% owned, a 29% chance of 59 fantasy points. He ranks 14th. I think getting to someone like Towns looks really easy. Bridges stands out to me. He's currently the most owned guy coming from the Knicks, but not all that surprising. More involved offensively with no Brunson around. 6,200 guard forward eligibility, so really helpful from a flexibility standpoint. Maybe a hair over owned right now, but probably my favorite overall Knick. Because like Payne is different, Towns is center only. I think Bridges is the easiest guy to get to. Anunoby looks good though. 10% optimal, 10% owned. Josh Hart will be 15 to 20% owned, 8K, small forward, power forward eligible. You need 50, but he ranks 20th. But if I'm ranking the Knicks, it would be Bridges 1, Towns 2, Cam Payne 3, Josh Hart 4, OG Anunoby 5. I doubt I would get to too much of McBride. He'd be after all those guys. Shamit's after all those guys because he's such a bad per minute dude. I don't think Precious steps into enough minutes to matter all that much today. It's really the main dudes, which I'm sure isn't all that surprising. In terms of Knicks bets, we actually don't have any right now. We had 3 when I started. Now, everything on the Knicks side is currently showing up with a negative EV. So we don't have any Knicks bets available right now in the portfolio EV tool. We just have a team that looks pretty solid. We have 3 teams right now at 100% ownership or more. The Knicks are one of those teams. We have 2 teams that have 100% optimal or more. The Knicks are one of those teams. Now, Warriors and Kings are both at 95, so I don't want to undersell that, but the Knicks do look like one of the better spots here. That's what happens when you get to face Charlotte. Charlotte stinks. That's a good thing if you're facing them. What do you guys like most from the Knicks? Curious what you guys see here. Are y'all with me on Bridges? I know it's Mikal Bridges, so it's usually not fun to talk about Mikal Bridges. But he's been a little bit better as of late since Brunson went down. I guess. Let's see. Yeah, the shot attempts are definitely up. Can I look at that shooting? I can. Nice. All right, John Bush wants Bridges. Gary wants Towns. Okay. Do I make anything of Tibbs' comments on Bridges' minutes? I didn't even see them, so probably no. What did he say? I don't tend to make anything of any coach's comments about anything. I usually don't trust them. Let's go to Charlotte. So for Charlotte, they actually have some injury stuff that we need to worry about. Moussa Diabate is questionable with right knee soreness. And then Marcus Garrett is questionable with low back soreness. Steven, was he really? That's funny. People are going to probably say that too. That's really wild because, like, he was an objectively bad play yesterday. Was he really? Incredible. And that lineup left 500 on the table. Man, that's a threading of the needle, dude. You get Denny, you get Jalen Williams, you get Cade. Damn. For reference sake, Grimes in the and one, Steven, negative 42.3 sim ROI. Of course. Wait, Jake, are you talking about the conversation he had like 2 months ago? Anyway, I'm getting back to Charlotte. So, Diabate, questionable. Marcus Garrett, questionable. There is no ownership coming into Charlotte right now. They are the least... Yeah. The reference to that conversation came out recently. The real conversation with Bridges and Tibbs happened in January. This whole thing has been reported really weird. No one, and I'm not saying no one as I mean you, but like no one seems to notice that. Anyway, so Garrett questionable, Diabate questionable. LaMelo Ball got to 10% ownership. Otherwise, this entire team is unowned right now. 2% to Bridges, who's just not on the injury report. He's probable. So these guys are back to full strength, save for Garrett and Diabate. We do need to pay attention to this because I think the most interesting piece of this game is if Moussa Diabate is out. Because I think if Moussa Diabate is out, Jusuf Nurkic will just be the backup center. And instead of playing 12 minutes and splitting his time as the backup center with Diabate, I think he just gets it all. And if he gets it all, I mean, you don't have to give him many minutes for Jusuf Nurkic to be wild. God, why does that happen again? There's absolutely no reason this music should be coming through my speakers. Why is it? I might lose my audio, so I'm trying to figure this out. All right, I think we're good. Let's talk about Nurkic. Let's say at 1.25 fantasy points per minute, Jusuf Nurkic plays 16 minutes. If Diabate's out, that's 20 fantasy points at 3,200. That would be 6.25x his salary. At this moment right now, think about this for a second. This is how ridiculous today's slate is and how hard it is for what we have. If that's the case, the highest value play we have right now is 5.9x to D'Angelo Russell. 16 minutes of Yusuf Nurkic is the number one value play on the slate, and he'll be 50% owned. Right now, he's projected for 7% ownership, and he's not even on the radar. So if Moussa Diabate ends up out, I mean, maybe they play Taj Gibson for 12 minutes or something, but my expectation would be a couple extra minutes for Nurk, and all it takes is 16 minutes for him to be the best point per dollar play on the slate. So we need to pay attention to that one because it's not going to be fun. Now, for the rest of these guys, we're never going to anything if Garrett and Diabate are in, other than LaMelo and, if you want to, Miles Bridges, but I don't think he looks very good. But you're not going to Jeffries. You're not going to Josh Green. I don't think there's any way you're going to Mark Williams. You're not going to Nick Smith. There's nothing here. Jellybean, yes, I'm wearing a Hornets hat. And a Hornets shirt. See? Boop. Boop. I'm all themed up today. So we want to pay attention to Nurkic. That will be the most interesting thing. 10% of LaMelo is fine no matter what. But the swing piece here will be whether or not Garrett and Diabate are available, in particular, Diabate. Do you guys like anything for Charlotte here? We got a 1.8% EV on over 3.5 threes for LaMelo on DraftKings, and a 1.3% EV under 4.5 rebounds for LaMelo. Actually, I could probably stop searching for these individually since there's only 5 games. Just sort by NBA. Yeah, that'll be easier. There's not enough games right now. For anybody, we'll pop back into this periodically. Right now, we have 3 OddsShopper ratings. One of them's a negative historical ROI. Over 27.5 PRA for Joval on ESPN Bet is the best bet we have available in the Portfolio EV tool if you want to take one. Ball is due. Bridges. I think Bridges is a real tough sell at 9K, but Bridges is tough, man. I know he's been playing better and all, but I don't know. That one's kind of tough. Let's go to game number 2, because this is the most owned spot today. The Brooklyn Nets, 9-point dogs in Indy. 226 total. Brooklyn going to be without Cam Johnson today. He has already been ruled out for rest purposes. Clearly Cam Thomas out. Boatloads of ownership coming into Brooklyn, including the number 1 play of the day, D'Angelo Russell at 5,800. You guys agree? You guys want D'Angelo Russell? Because he's the best play right now. Unfortunately. I got him in for 28 minutes. I don't think that's a crazy projection for him. He played 29 last time out. You know, down another body. Bridges is like Grimes. How so? D'Angelo Russell, 5,800, 1.2 fantasy points per minute. Do I expect him to be 57% owned when we get to lock? No. Is he going to be 40? Yeah, probably. I don't know how you get away from him today. Looks like a real big priority. Zaire Williams has been playing 30 minutes a night. Shooting guard, small forward eligible, 4,700. Again, no Cam Johnson. Zaire's 35% owned. He's 39% optimal. He's going to be heavily owned all day. Day'Ron Sharp is getting a bit of love, 27% owned. Center only 4,400. Yusuf Nurkic will take a giant bite out of that if Moussa Diabate ends up out. But if we're talking about value, If we're talking about point per dollar options on this slate, Day'Ron Sharpe is your 4th best option. There's no value on this 5-gamer right now. No value whatsoever. Nick Claxton, 5,800. That feels like one of the lower Nick Claxton prices. Is that down? Yeah, he was 6K last time out. Okay, he was 5,200 on the 13th, so maybe I wasn't paying attention. That just felt a hair low to me. Either way, 20% owned, 25% optimal. He's a 1.1 fantasy point per minute guy at that price tag. Looks great. Trendon Watford, 4,600, power forward center eligible, 1.1 fantasy points per minute, 25% optimal. There's going to be a ton of ownership coming into Brooklyn. They're currently the most owned team. Now, I think it's going to redistribute a little bit throughout the day as we get more information, but like Zaire Williams is going to be chalky today. Day'Ron Sharpe is going to be chalky depending on the Nurk situation. D'Angelo Russell is going to be chalky today. Trendon Watford is going to get some ownership. Nick Claxton's going to get some ownership. Keon Johnson's going to get some ownership. Noah Clowney, if he starts, is going to get a little bit of ownership. This Brooklyn side looks really good. You don't mind going up against a Pacers team. We don't know who's officially playing for this Pacers team yet today. 19th in defensive rating, 8th in pace. They're a good target for DFS. So I think we're getting to Brooklyn today. They only have 10 guys. It's not like they have a ton of options. So, yeah. A lot of Brooklyn. Shouldn't Sacramento be the highest owned team? They play Chicago. So it depends who's in for Sacramento. We don't know their injury status right now, but like if they're missing guys like they were yesterday, then yeah, they're going to be a lot more owned. If those guys are back, like if Levine is playing today, it's not this, they won't be as interesting. So a lot of priorities coming out of Brooklyn. I think Russell's pretty clearly your best option. I think Zaire Williams is 2. I think Nick Claxton's 3. I think Watford's 4. I think Sharpe is 5. Do you guys like anything specific for Brooklyn? Curious where you guys want to get to. Any more bets? Oh, okay. We got 13 OddsShopper rating, under 15.5 PRA on Jamison Battle. We got an 11 OddsShopper rating, under 7.5 rebounds and assists on Kobe White. And we got a 9 OddsShopper rating, under 6.5 assists on Giannis. 3 really big old plays here in the Portfolio EV tool, if you want to try to grab them, guys. 2 of them on BetMGM, 1 of them on Caesars. Gary wants Russell and Clax. Steven wants Zaire and probably Russell. Or Zaire probably and Russell. Got it. Yeah. We're going to be getting to a lot of Brooklyn today. That's for sure. Pacers, a little trickier for today. They're on the back-to-back, so we don't know who's playing. We haven't seen Tyrese Halliburton for the past 2 games. Siakam was back yesterday. Nesmith was back yesterday. Miles Turner was back yesterday. But we don't know who's going to be in here for the Pacers. Right now, if Halliburton plays, we're getting like 15% ownership to Halliburton, like 10 to Siakam, 10 to Nesmith, 10 to Nembhard, 15 to Turner. I think that makes a lot of sense. I will say that I think Indy is a bit overowned. This isn't a great matchup defensively. Like the Nets aren't the tire fire that every other shitty team is. It's a massive pace down spot. These guys are ultra slow. So I actually I'm a little less interested in this Pacers side. You know, Nembhard is fine around 10%. Miles Turner's fine around 10%. Halliburton's fine around 10%, but I don't have much interest in Aaron Nesmith. I don't have much interest in $8,300 Siakam if Halliburton is in. I would expect to be lighter on the Pacers than what I'm seeing here from an ownership perspective. I'd say, I mean, if Halliburton's in, he's probably my preferred Pacer. And then it's kind of just whoever. I don't think these guys separate all that much from each other. And they're just not that great of values. Like Nembhard got the 5x his salary, and I think that's probably a hair too high. I think these guys are all sub 5x values. And that's why it makes it tough. This is the slowest paced game on the slate. It's not the lowest total. Everything's kind of just in this mid 220s range. But I don't see anything on Indy that looks amazing. Do you guys have anything for the Pacers that you have your eye on? I mean, obviously we need their injury report, but I don't see it here. I just don't see it. I got a 6 OddsShopper rating, under 3.5 assists on Miles Bridges on BetMGM right now. Nothing else too high. A couple 2%ers. A lot of negative historical ROI in that package of picks, though. I didn't see the end of Mavs Pacers. And Arcathelza says, I wish it was the 27th already. What's the 27th? What's the 27th? John, I think you might want to look again because he's been incredible this year. Oh, it's baseball opening day. I had no idea. I had no idea. But yeah, Halliburton confirmed good. Let's go to game number 3. Toronto Raptors, 14.5 point dogs in Golden State, 225 total. I don't know what to do here because this team's more broken than anybody else. So no RJ Barrett, no Grady Dick, no Jared Rhoden, no Jacoby Walter. Who the hell's going to play? Who's going to play enough minutes? Who's going to be playing too well and they stop them? How much are they going to play all these centers alongside of each other? Because they do that from time to time. Jakob Poeltl is available. Scotty Barnes is available. I tried to treat this team incredibly pessimistic with their minutes. I didn't want to give anybody too many, so I have them all really in the same range. I don't know how you can confidently play anybody here. I have no recommendation for Toronto. Like, yeah, if Jonathan Mobo is going to play 27 minutes like he did last time out, he's a good value play at 4,200, power forward center eligible. But I don't know how many minutes this guy's going to play. What if he's playing really well in the first half? They might shut him down. Is AJ Lawson going to continue to play big minutes? I don't know. The last time that Jakob Poeltl played, he played 25 minutes. Colin Castleton played 27. Orlando Robinson played 30. All three of those guys are active today. I have no idea how many minutes they're going to play these bigs together. And we have Mobo now. I don't know how you click on a single name for Toronto. I truly don't. Frankie says Castleton is a real thing today. We have Castleton as the worst Toronto Raptor play of anybody getting minutes. So there's that. Slightly different perspective for us today. I don't know how you do it. Is somebody going to be good here? Yeah, for sure. Do you have any idea who that's going to be? No. Not to mention they're 2 touchdown underdogs in Golden State. Ew, guys. Ew. Just... I think the most likely scenario today is if you roster someone from Toronto, you're probably going to look back at it after the day is done and say, wow, I really wish I didn't do that. Castleton played 30. He did. He did indeed. Yeah, Steven, I don't want to say that because that's going to make Scotty Barnes score 50 fantasy points the way that Mamu did. And he's going to have 50 in like 18 minutes. Oh, man, I don't. My recommendation to you guys, if you're listening to this show and watching right now, is that I don't think you should play anybody from Toronto. I don't know how you can do it and be confident about it. I don't even know who I would tell you to pick. It's probably Mobo, honestly. I think he's probably the guy I would feel most comfortable with. But even that's a bit of a stretch. Maybe this looks a little bit different later. They're 28% owned. They're the second lowest owned team. I'd feel a lot better if we could just bet their unders. Unfortunately for us, I don't see any available Toronto plays that look good. Trey Jones, 12 OddsShopper rating, under 22.5 PRA on ESPN. Kevin Huerter, under 2.5 threes made, 4.8% EV on BetMGM. Got a couple good plays sticking out here right now if you guys are into the betting side. Let's get to Golden State because they're getting a little bit more love. Warriors. Like I said, 2 touchdown favorites here against Toronto. Now, Gary Payton is questionable. Otherwise, everybody's just in. They don't have a single name on this list on their injury report. It's only the only name that's listed is Gary Payton. Yeah, run the bases. They're going to need Scotty Barnes to play 50 more games for him to be able to make the All-NBA team. I mean, you're probably right. They're trying to get him to 65, but he has a 0% chance of being an All-NBA player. So that's a fool's errand. All right, 2 guys for Golden State are getting any sort of love today. It's about 25% ownership to Draymond Green. And it's about 25% ownership to the bucket, Jonathan Kuminga. Both of those guys deserve that ownership. Kuminga's ranking 6th. Draymond's ranking 9th. Kuminga's 5,500 power forward eligible. We saw Kuminga come back this past week. He'd been missing for a while. 4 straight games. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 28 minutes, and 24 minutes. We got him in for 25. I think that's a pretty reasonable number here. Maybe Gary Payton doesn't play, but Kuminga's over a fantasy point per minute. The matchup is solid enough against this Toronto team. This is some pretty good value on Kuminga. 5.3x value. We don't have too many guys better than that today. And then you get to Draymond, another fantasy point per minute guy. He's playing 30 minutes a night, potentially more. Like, we got him in for 30 and a half. He's played 36, 32, and 32 in his last 3. So there's minutes upside on Draymond. He's 27% owned, 27% optimal, 26% chance of 42 fantasy points. These 2 guys look like priorities. Gary Payton looks good if he's in. Don't know how many minutes he plays. But if you give him 21 at 4K shooting guard small forward eligible, I think Gary Payton's like a 15 to 20% owned guy on this slate. I just don't know if he's going to be available. But the position, the price, the matchup all looks really good here. After that, not a ton of interest in Steph. Not any ton of interest in Jimmy Butler. No interest in Moody or Hield. You know, you could take a couple swings at Quentin Post if you want. But I think this is a Draymond, Kuminga, Gary Payton trio. Gary likes Curry and Green. I don't see the Curry one. Like, don't get me wrong. He's clearly rosterable on a 5-gamer, but I don't think he looks that great. And I guess I didn't even say his name, but $5,700 Pajemski's just not an interesting dude today. Steven, I could see where you're going with that. I don't think it's going to matter too much for this particular case, but I see where you're I see where you're doing. Why Kuminga over Moody? Moody starting and cheaper. Jonathan Kuminga is like 0.3 of a fantasy point per minute better than Moses Moody in the same amount of minutes. Over the past 2 games, Kuminga has played more minutes overall and is a massively better per minute guy. They're not even close. 30% optimal for Kuminga to 2% optimal for Moody. 1.15 fantasy points per minute for Kuminga to 0.8 for Moody. It's a giant gap between these guys. But yeah, it's Kuminga, it's Draymond, it's Gary Payton if he's in. It's not a lot of Steph Curry, though. Ooh, that's a big old OddsShopper rating on Andrew Nemhard's threes. Pinnacle has it at under 1.5, minus 265. DK is at minus 230. Kobe White over 4.5 assists, 8% EV. And you get an over, which is nice. It's plus 122 on Penny. Whew, that is a great line to grab if you can. A lot of good bets out there right now, guys. I hope you're taking advantage. Steven, I think Post looks okay even without that theory. All right, let's go to game number 4. This is probably the main event by the time we get to lock, but for right now, Chicago Bulls, 7-point dogs in Sacramento, 234 total. We don't know the status of either team. They're both on a back-to-back. Allegedly, Josh Giddey might be able to play today. Otherwise, I got everybody in regardless for Chicago. The most ownership is coming into Vooch. He's 7,100. He's playing 30 minutes a night. I think he's under-owned. I've liked him for these past couple days. He's 20% owned, 20% optimal, ranks 12th, 27% chance of 46 fantasy points. I think Vooch is pretty clearly the best option you can get to from Chicago. And I think the second best option would be Trey Jones. He's 7% owned, but we got him 14% optimal. He's a 0.9 guy, but playing 33, 34 minutes a night, 6,300. He's a 5x value. That's good enough for me. 21% chance of 42 fantasy points. Really nice matchup against Sacramento. I mean, this is a tale of two really dog shit defenses. So I like Vooch. I like Trey Jones. I think you can get to 5 to 10% of Giddey, 5 to 10% of Kevin Huerter. Both of those things seem fine. Kobe White at 8,200 admittedly feels a little bit overpriced, but, you know, on a 5-gamer, I think you could take that swing. Not really all that interested in Buzelis or Patrick Williams or Zach Collins. These guys just don't seem to be doing enough. So I'm going to rank Chicago Vooch 1, Trey Jones 2, Giddey 3, Kevin Huerter 4. What do you guys like for the Bulls today? And if you like ESPN bet, 24 OddsShopper rating, 8% EV, Mark Williams under 10.5 rebounds. Frankie, what? I don't understand what you're saying. Chris likes Giddey. Gary likes Vooch. Kevin Huerter, revenge narrative alert, I guess. Kobe White. Oh, we're all over the map here. Run the bases. I'm not with you on Kobe White. I think he's the worst play here. Kobe White's the last guy I would pick from Chicago, I think. I think Vooch is the answer here. 7,100 is too cheap. It's just too cheap. I mean, he's getting 20% ownership, so it's not all that surprising to me. You're assuming Giddey sits. I saw something yesterday that said that he's likely to play, but I don't know. Don't know for sure. Frankie, I didn't say that I want him to be the starting center on my real team. This is DFS. He's underpriced. Let's talk Sacramento. So this is the real problem here. We don't know who's playing for Sacramento, and they were weird yesterday. Zach LaVine scratched out of nowhere. We did not see that one coming. Jake LaRavia ended up being out yesterday. Obviously, Sabonis is done for a bit. So the status of LaVine and LaRavia is massive today. We just don't know who's going to be available. If they're all in, you know, they all kind of look the same, which isn't helpful. You probably end, like, if they're all in, like, LaVine's better than DeRozan, Monk's probably better than both because of the cheaper price tag and the MPE. But, like, Jake LaRavia is 3,500 today. 0.8 guy, ranks 5th. But we don't know if he's in. Jake LaRavia might be a top 5 play because of his value, or he might not be playing at all. So this is one of the spots where we like just desperately need the injury report at 3:30, because it will change everything. Because this matchup is amazing. The Bulls defense is terrible. This is a giant pace up spot for Sacramento. Something's going to look good here if their injury report looks like it did yesterday. But we just don't know who it's going to be. Because, like, if LaVine and LaRavia don't play, Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan are going to look pretty damn good. Malik Monk in particular at 7,900 with an MPE, he's probably going to be like 30% owned. And then we start having conversations about Keon Ellis. We would have to have some sort of conversation about Devin Carter. Because, like, right now, I don't have Devin Carter projected to even participate. Yesterday, he played 30 minutes, scored 30 fantasy points. Like, if LaRavia and LaVine are both out again, I think we have to assume Devin Carter's playing 24 minutes at a minimum. At which point, you know, we're paying attention a little bit more. He's still 3,200. So that could create a massive value play that we don't have. But for right now, it's all a hypothetical. We don't really know what we have here. So I'm going to put Sacramento to bed for right now. This is much more of they're a deeper dive team. This whole game is a deeper dive game and a live before lock game. Final game of the day. It's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks on the road in LA, taking on the Lakers, 225 total. Do we have any final bets here? Luka under assists but negative historical ROI. Buzelis under 16.5 PRA on ESPN Bet. That's got a 7 OddsShopper rating. That looks good. Trey Jones under 6.5 assists is still here at a 12 OddsShopper rating. So that looks pretty good. Do you guys want to get the Portfolio EV tool? You can do that. You can get a month of the Portfolio EV tool or a month of our simulation tools on the DFS side for free. And not only can you get 1 month, you can get countless months for free as long as you sign up through a different partner. We have a giant list of different partners that you can sign up for if you want to get a month of something we have. Caesars, Fanatics, Chalkboard, BetMGM, Vivid, Better, Sleeper, Underdog, DraftKings, FanDuel, DraftKings Pick 6. You claim one of these offers, you follow the instructions on the top of the screen, you get a month of whatever you want. If it's The Sims, you get projections and ownership and the Boom Bust tool. You get Discord, everything we have. If it's Portfolio EV, you take a market-based approach to beating the books and the pick'em sites. You get expected value, expected win rate. I've been sharing it all show, showing you guys the recommended bets. We have a brand new parlay builder, way more features in it now. We've got mass entries. We've got odds boost calculators. You build all your cards out automatically for pick'em sites. Whatever you're looking for, we've got you covered. And you can do it for free by signing up through one of these partner links. So take advantage, guys. Come on in. And maybe you just want a free trial. You can always get a 7-day free trial of the Portfolio EV tool. That link is in the description of this video. Maybe you don't want to sign up for one of these offers first. Maybe you want to check out the free trial. Check it out for 7 days. If you find out you like it, then hit one of these offers. But all of it is here. It's here all the time. The links are in the description of the video. And they're in the chat if you're watching right now. All right, guys, hit that like button. Man, I wish I could figure out every morning now, something has just been in my eye. It's like it grows out of it in the morning. Not that anybody cares. Let's go. Milwaukee Bucks, 3.5-point favorites in LA, 225 total. Milwaukee is one of 3 teams over 100% ownership. Nobody is on their injury report that we're surprised to see. 30% ownership coming into Giannis. 11,700 power forward, center eligible, ranking 4th on the day. Seems pretty easy to want to get to Giannis in this matchup against the Lakers. No matter what anybody wants to say in this particular moment, it is not a very good Lakers defense. They are definitely not set up well to handle Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just want Giannis here. He looks great. He's easy to pay up for. I think by the time we get there, we're going to have enough value that everything is fine. But as I look at it right now, yeah, give me Giannis. Give me Giannis. Let me look at something quickly. I do have Luka ahead of him, though. So we'll have that conversation in a sec here. We also like Dame today. 8,500, point guard only, 1.15 fantasy points per minute. He's 8% optimal. He's 12% owned. A very reasonable guy to get 10% of. But we got a lot of ownership coming into Milwaukee, and I wouldn't expect it. KPJ is getting 15% at 3,700. Gary Trent's getting 15% at 3,500. Taurean Prince is getting 15 at 3,900. We don't have a lot of pay down options right now. I never expected to squeeze them out of Milwaukee, but that's what's happening. 8% to Kuzma looks right. I'm not surprised by this ownership. Like, we got him at 86% optimal. These guys are reasonable value plays. And because it's a 10:30 start, I kind of like getting a little bit more ownership here, because at least I can move that around if I need to. What do you guys like most from Milwaukee other than Giannis? What do you guys like most? Gary says Giannis. Jones says Kuzma. Ah, that's a tough sell. I mean, he's clearly a guy today, but yeah, Lopez isn't bad at 5,500. He doesn't grade out very well for us. Bold take. KPJ starts over Kuzma tonight. Yeah, Nick, you'd be wrong. I wouldn't want to hang on to that bold take. That will not be happening. What else we got? Kuzma does suck. That has nothing to do with DFS, though. Okay. Miles says, I love Kuz. Okay, that's too strong, too. He is not so good. He's so bad. He's so bad. Any new bets before we close it out on the Lakers? Austin Reeves under 6.5 assists. 29 OddsShopper rating, 8.5% EV on Onyx odds. Not bad. Another Reeves. DeRozan. I'd be taking a look at like this Neesmith rebounds play, this Miles McBride threes play. And let's look at the Lakers. Now, obviously, tricky spot. They're on a back-to-back. Not only are they on a back-to-back, they're on 4 games in 5 nights. Not only that, they're on 3 straight back-to-backs. The Lakers are getting fucked here. They played the 13th and the 14th, day off. They played the 16th and the 17th, day off. They're playing the 19th and the 20th. What did they do to get this scheduled, man? Back-to-back off day, back-to-back off day, back-to-back off day. That's awful. They got to be cooked. At least they're at home. If this game were in Denver, I'd expect them to lose by 1,000. So we don't know who's playing. Conceivably, Luka could sit this game. I mean, he sat the second end of the first back-to-back they had. But, oof, man, so many games. Does Luka sit? Does Reeves sit? Does somebody sit? I don't know. Does Luka look good? Yeah, of course. He's 12-7. He's awesome. He's 25% owned. He should be. He looks better than Giannis, I would say. Because Luka doesn't have a Dame. But I will happily get to some Luka. 10% of Reeves looks fine, 9,100. Point guard, shooting guard eligible. He's just appropriately priced now for his role. Jordan Goodwin's 20% owned at 4,600. I think he's the second best option for the Lakers. 15% optimal, 17% chance of 33 fantasy points. Huh. Well, Celtics sold. I want to know if that 6.1 billion is Wicks valuation or the overall valuation. Go Celts. Okay. What do you guys like from the Lakers before we get out of here? I think it's really just like Luka, Reeves, and Goodwin. Ryan and Run the Bases both like Reeves. Scares me, man. That's a big price tag for him. That's a really big price tag for Reeves. I can't I can't say that I'm as confident as you guys are. Goodwin and Luka. Goodwin. Yeah. I'm more on the Goodwin train. Not that he's a great per minute guy, but the minutes seem to be there. That's for sure. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it. Let's build one lineup. You know what? I'm feeling generous. Let's build one and done. That's it. DraftKings only, not screwing around. Too many Q tags for me to take this one seriously. Well, we can build one and have some fun. So hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. Don't forget, this tool comes with you if you sign up for it, so you probably should check it out. The Czar is in the building. Let's do it. Campaign going in. Shooting guard. Jake LaRavia going in. Power forward. Fuck it. Day'Ron Sharp going in at center. Now we could start taking some chances. Let's go Kuminga. Point guard. I mean, let's go Luka. I think we're going to have the salary for it. Small forward. Let's go Zaire. Guard. If I go cheap at guard, I should be able to get to Giannis. So let's go Gary Payton. And let's go Giannis. This might be 87%. This is going to be huge. Jelly Bean, you're wildly wrong. Ooh, I almost nailed it. 90.3. Jelly Bean, beat it. Beat it. I want to hear your smack. My guess, 23% ROI. You know who you're talking to, brother. Come on now. 90.3% ROI. Luka Doncic, campaign, Zaire Williams, Jake LaRavia, Day'Ron Sharp, Gary Payton, Jonathan Kuminga, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. That'll do it, everybody. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Hell of a show here. Don't forget, sign up at Stokastic and pay close attention to everything we've got going on today. We got Deeper Dive and Live Before Lock later. You might hear about our NBA, oh my God, I can't even talk. You might hear about our MLB packages today, including a promo. I don't have anything for you right now, but make sure you're watching our Twitter accounts. Make sure you're watching our shows because that might get released today and you don't want to miss it. Good luck, everybody. Tell Aton we said hi.